Alright everyone, Supreme Kami over here, so let's actually take a look at some revived warfare parts getting some alterations. So I'm just going to quickly take a look to see how they actually perform. In terms of EX skill, I personally have not really tested them after alteration, or I have not even altered them yet. So if you guys do want to quickly see how they actually looks like, I will actually leave the other MCs, the YouTube channel down in the description below, because you have like a whole library of just EX skill showcases. So I'll definitely leave that in the description below, and there you guys and just kind of see whether or not you guys would like it. In terms of what I'll do, I'll actually be taking it on to maybe the crew limited time multi-mission. I'm just gonna test out their performance and see how should they be alterated and all that. So do keep that in mind. In terms of alteration for the EX skill base, you don't really need to alterate it this week. You guys can definitely alterate it anytime you would like, because there are no time limit on them. So, but without further ado, let me actually hop in and see how they are. So there's only one EX skill in that one. Okay. So let's see. In terms of the head stat, I feel like the stat on these warfare shouldn't be looked at it too closely, because they are the older generation, so they're not really gonna perform as let's say the bachelor warfare, where they're like groundbreaking stats, groundbreaking portraits and all that. So yeah, this one is outright already bad. So the second portrait they really make it for it, so this is gonna be like a hot skill already. This one is bad. This one is like a meh option, so skipping that. Moving on to the torso. So what do we have? So the first portrait was like a gimmicky play, so where you won't really consume any of your burning gauge, so that allow you for that 10-second duration to boost anywhere you would like. But the second portrait really didn't make it for it, so this, I don't know, I feel like piercing in this game doesn't really take, it's not really as important as, let's say, compared to shooting power, or even or shooting / melee power boosting, or even EX skill power boosting. So I mean, in some cases it might work depending on like the event you're looking at. If let's say your enemy has extremely high defensive value, then having a few of these piercing boosting would definitely break through in conjunction with using EX skill that actually has at least B pierce or even A pierce. They would definitely get the job done. But in any normal content, I don't feel like having piercing boost is that important. So yeah. Alright, so the arm does have an EX skill over here. So what are we looking at max? B plus power, huh? So is it something I don't really need to alter, or I do? So let me actually take a look. So right now we're only looking at, so pre-alteration we are only looking at a B minus. Even at max that was only B minus. So if we're looking at the perspective of B minus, I don't think it's gonna hit us hard, definitely, because you're jumping at least 2 power scaling, so you jumping from B to B plus, so you're definitely gonna get a lot of mileage up to alteration. But this is definitely not something you have to alterate immediately. Obviously, if you do like the EX skill or just the arm in general, at least get the part first and kind of worry about whether or not you want to alterate it. And you will need at least 13 copies. 1 copy is the main parts, and then you're gonna need 12 more dupes to just kind of get everything to EX skill level 10. So yeah, it could be expensive, definitely. So yeah. Alright, moving on to the leg. So let's see what we have over here. Okay. The second portrait is definitely a big improvement over the first. If the first was not like a special shooting power boosting, I think this is definitely going to be one of the best. But looking at the second portrait, it is only restricting to beam, so any of your physical EX skill is not really going to work. So let's say you're using action drop, you are using let's say the dual assault strong arm EX skill, or even the the H1 full Lancer chest EX skill. I believe that one is a physical as well. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But those powerful EX skill that you would want to use in, let's say, arena, is not really gonna work. So I do feel like as a welfare, having that restriction definitely ruins it in a way. But if you guys purely use this only beam EX skill, this is definitely going to be a good option for you guys out there. But other than that, that's a pretty restrictive kind of condition right there, so kind of bad actually. So I wouldn't really go out of my way to just kind of farm it out to a portrait level 10, because you are gonna need at least 13 copies at the minimum. So all right, moving on to the backpack, see what we have. So yeah, this is bad. I'm not even gonna look at it. Nope. Just, you guys can definitely let me know, do you guys think this is good or this is good? Me personally, I'm just like, Come on now. What are they doing? Alright, moving on to the beam rifle, long blade rifle here. Alright, does look pretty cool. I gotta admit, the ranged weapon here does look pretty good. The portrait wise, it's not really cutting it actually. This is like, why? You know, this is like bad already. So alright, so it looks like there isn't really anything that you would want to alter from the Gal plan over here, if I pronounce it right. But yeah, so let's actually move on to the biz, which I'm pretty much excited about, because we do have 3 different EX skill and that can be pretty good, you know, actually. Alright, so let's actually start things off with the head. Stat wise, and this is not impressive at all, obviously. Okay, so mid-range attack for 14%. So second, like, after alteration, you're not getting anything out of it. So why bother alterating it, and why bother like getting it this to at least trying to get 1 copy of it for the collection? But if you're talking about maxing it out, I don't think it's worth it. It's just kind of bad, you know, why? Alright, moving on to the chest. So in terms of these types of EX skill, we definitely have seen a lot of options of them in many iterations already. So if you guys don't like this one, for example, or you have similar option, I don't think you really need to alterate it. So stat wise, it's definitely not up there at all. It looks like it's even prior to alteration status. So why? EX skill wise over here, you are gonna get a A- and B power. So okay, you would definitely need to alterate it in order to gain that B power. So or just to hit hard in general. So is this something you want to alterate? I would say not really at this point in time, because like we should have many options of this already, even prior to this Abyss alteration. So if you guys do have those options already, I feel like they're just the same. But if you purely enjoy the Abyss, I mean, kind of go for it, I guess, you know. But the arm is definitely going to be something exciting, because you are going to be shooting 6 beam at a time from those shoulder binders over here. So I'm definitely going to be excited to test this one out. So this one is going to be on the longer cooldown style. I thought initially, I guess I kind of overlooked it. I thought this is going to be like your 30-second cooldown and then 21 at max, but it looks like it's not. But I am definitely going to be excited to test this one out, like I said again. But the stat of this one is just horrible. Okay, moving on to the leg, let's see what we have. The leg, okay, interesting enough. So we have the EX skill reduced by 30%. So if any of you guys are actually running, let's say you guys have like a enemy power reduction type build and you guys are using mid-range, this is definitely going to be a good part for you guys out there. And then the first portrait is actually not too shabby. So projectile speed boosted by 14%. So correct me if I'm wrong, I think anything beam or physical is actually counted as a projectile, I guess. So if that is the case, and then any of your EX skill should be able to get that benefit. So I guess hitting faster can be a good thing, I guess, you know. But this is purely just for anyone that wants to build like a let's say like an enemy reduction type build. So yeah, but other than that, not too impressive with the overall trait right there. So whoops. Moving on to the backpacks. So what do we have? Okay, so this one does go up to a B+. Let me actually do check what is it prior. I believe it's only B power, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, B power. So if you don't alterate this, I think it's completely fine as well, because you're not really gaining that much from a B to B+. You will definitely see a marginal increase in damage, but it's not going to be anything too significant where, oh, I have to alterate it. Do keep that in mind. Any alteration, they will give you better stat. They will definitely give you a better EX skill output. So but it's not really that important in a way that you will need to go out of your way to alterate it. So I think overall, let me take a look at the last verse and we'll make the final decision. So the stat on this one is just outrageously low again, you know. But this one, so while transform EX skill, so initial charge boosted, 12% is cutting it short, I guess nowadays. I think 20 would be a good number, but unfortunately we're not getting that treatment. But the second portrait does actually give you an all power boosted by 25%, so that is actually quite powerful in a way, because this one does allow you to benefit from both melee and shot. So not bad of an option, I would say. But they're really cutting it low in terms of the percentage to just trying to keep this to all power, so kind of get that. But yeah, I feel like this is definitely a solid option from this setup here. All the other one are just kind of like a mad option. In terms of EXQ, it's just pretty much a personal preference whether or not you want to do more damage with them. But they should be a pretty fun setup EXQ to be using because they are they have 3 right there. So alright, definitely gonna be trying them out shortly after. So in terms of the Galagu, let's see what we have. Okay, starting up the head trait. Ooh, this one is quite interesting because this one is what is it? One is Xeon type, projectile speed boosted by 14%. So another one of those right there. And that late EXQ boosts by 30%. So you know, being a warfare, you can't really expect them to be like they're gonna give you like a really generous condition while still maintaining a high power boosting. I feel like in terms of melee specifically, we do have quite a few good like EXQ. So in that regards, it's not that bad. But you know, per usual, just anything that is bounded to only one EXQ or one specific portion of it is just not good overall. So I would have to say this one is a better option, but if you're looking at it from a free-to-play player standpoint, I think this is definitely a pretty decent option to just kind of invest into. But the tag wise in this one is definitely kind of what's going on. So you have Commander and Xeon, which is gonna boost both either side. So melee for Xeon and then Commander for shooting. So kind of an odd one here actually. I think that really goes with all the older stuff because like if you're looking at this one, since this one is a pretty much a close combat unit S, I guess, and you have, you know, someone like Charge piloting it, so that's what they have to put in Commander, right? Let's see what this one has for here. So I think this one don't really need the alteration because this one is simply reducing your enemy EXQ penetration by 28%. I don't know how effective this one is, so I'm just gonna say not a good pick in general, you know. I never really tested those out, so I can't really talk too much about how good they can be and how effective they will be, right? This one don't really need the alteration to begin with because the second portrait don't really do all that much. The first portrait was already good, you know, but I think the only thing that you will miss from this one is definitely going to be the stat. If you choose not to alterate it, I'm pretty sure the stat is going to be extremely low, which is kind of expected. But I'm not really going to say alterate this one because the second portrait is just what is that, you know? So gonna be a skip right there for sure, you know. Alright, moving on to the leg EXQ. So I think the leg EXQ is actually not that bad. It definitely helped me in terms of just clearing many events back then. Like what is it, the battle circuit? Definitely a helpful one to be using. This one is not terrible at all. This one does go up to A-, so which is pretty good. Does have some effects that would allow you to lower your enemy shot attack as well as melee defense by that margin right there. So it's not a bad option to be honest, but you know, I think prior to alteration should be sufficient enough. I think it should come in at B plus power actually. B power, so yeah, I feel like this one does deserve the alteration then, I guess, you know. Alright, so moving on to the backpack. I don't think the backpack is a, what is it? This one is a twin blade slash, okay. Actually, this one could be a pretty good candidate because you're looking at an A- pierce as well as a B+ pierce, so this one could be good actually. Not bad of an option if you do want to alterate it. Let me see, what is it prior? Oh, it's really good, but you're getting it like you gain the piercing, which is actually not a bad option, I would have to say, you know. So if you guys do want to alterate it for the extra piercing value, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know how worth it will be because like I don't think any event would kind of need the piercing in a way. So it is really kind of subjective whether or not you want it. So this one is not good either. After alteration, job increased by 17%, not impressive at all. So tag wise is pretty much the same throughout. Stat wise is just like, oh my gosh, oh terrible. So let's see what the beam rifle have right here. The beam rifle, I believe even without alteration should be good because the second portrait isn't really packing too much anyway, so you don't really need to alterate it. So okay. Alright, moving on to the shield. Let's see what we have. Okay, wow, they're so bad actually. Why? Ugh. All right, so I think the only thing that is really worth it is maybe the EX skill, me personally, for that extra bit of damage. Maybe the backpack as well, because it does go up to A tier, so I guess it can be helpful in depending on what kind of situation but you're looking at. But overall, I think I'm pretty like sad. Like I'm pretty disappointed in this wave's alteration for these warfare. I don't think they're anything too groundbreaking where you kind of need them. So, but the E skill could be a pretty amusing part of it, I guess, just to kind of test things out. I'll definitely be using it in some limited time multi-mission, just gonna see how they goes. But that's still gonna be for this review. I don't think, yeah, just all in all, I don't think they're that impressive. I think most of what they're doing doesn't really work in today's meta, I guess. But yeah, that being said, that is gonna be pretty much it, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one.